Hello everyone, Untitled, welcome to another Modpack overview, this time on Forge New Possibilities 3. A Modpack that simply is a mix of tech exploration tweaks, but also tries to mimic the Forgecraft 116 season pack as much as possible. So yeah, this is pretty much a fan version of that, just obviously now made possible. With any mods I could find, because obviously some aren't available for 116 yet, like things like chicken chunks and a few other things, but some obviously are available and I tried to fit them in. And I've also got additional stuff like Planogistics, as well as obviously replacements for other mods, like chicken chunks not existing for 116 yet. So I've got as a Dunes chunk loader instead as an alternative. I've added a few other things as well, just to sort of fit in. So say for Ender storage, you've got dim storage, certain other mods that couldn't fit in the 1.0 version, so I put them in the 1.0.1 version. Certain other mods that seem necessary, so you can actually access the actual mod options button from in-game, because for some reason that's not possible without an additional mod, and more. So yeah, mostly a focus on content, but other stuff is still available, and certain other ones will be considered in the future. So yeah, a fair amount of alternatives, but also a lot of consistency with what's in that sort of seasons pack. But yeah, as close as you can get a fan version to it as possible, obviously. So first up, we've got Planogistics, with obviously its certain storage focus. You've got its controller, you've got its co-crafting, co-processing, crafting storage stuff, its cards, its facades and cables and more. Excuse me. And as you can see, additional blocks and such there. You've got biomes aplenty for biomes, as well as obviously certain woods, sand, sandstone, I assume dirts and stones and trees, along with flowers and boats and music disc. You've got Botania for certain magic. Using plants, you've got different armor and resources and potions and charms and pendants and such you can use alongside Curious API. So yeah, obviously its blocks and certain other world gem is also available with its flowers and other stuff, along with obviously its cobbles and stones and bricks and more. You've got botany pots, obviously putting crops inside of certain pots, I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I've covered the mod review, so I'll try and remember. Besides the tooltips there. Charging gadgets for charging up tools, so you can put in fuel and then charge it. You can't use it as a generator, you can only use it to pretty much power anything that's inside here. So if you don't have mechanism, or don't have access to certain energy storage stuff early on, you've got this as an option. For power, as a centralized block, or single block from the mod. Crafting station for obviously crafting and keeping stuff in there. So I just put something random in here to keep it in there. We can keep crafting. You've got culinary construct for obviously additional foods and such. Couriers we obviously covered because of the menu aspect there, or the inventory view aspect there. You've got dark utilities for traps and certain plates to push inventories and inventory items and mobs and such, as well as filters and more, and other redstone components. You've got dim storage for your ability to use fluids and items and blocks to be transported. So pretty much like your ender storage of the pack, pretty much. So if you want certain security, frequency, ability to lock it, have an auto eject mode, on the tank, or just collecting mode for the lock and item one, then you can. And you can also use a pouch-like equivalent and use a tablet to access stuff while on the go. And obviously the different modes and such will have a different sort of colour there, letting you know. So there's that. You've got elements of power for adding in additional sort of ores and gems and certain magic aspects, for analysing different resources. You've got Ender Thing, which is similar, except that you obviously get a Ender Chest, which I'll need real quick, and then I'll go back to where we were. And pretty much you can use a lock for security and have a global or not ender chest, but for the most part, data storage is probably your way to go for other things. So I just put this in the world, put that there. I'll just name it key, for example. Set that up. Got a typical ender chest. Now a global one, and you can have private ones, and obviously use a key and such. And obviously, if I want to link this, I can, and have a portable access to the chest, and so on. So there's that. So for the, I guess your frequencies in a way with the different locks. You got Immersive Engineering for additional ores and components, along with obviously different components for your multi-blocks. You've got scaffolding, you've got tools, you've got the mining drill and railgun and certain other stuff. You've got ammo and more, conveyor belts and certain other things. You've got industrial foregoing for additional fluids, as well as management of animals, as well as crops, or certain things for fertilizer and mobs and so on. Additional tools, ability to capture them and put them in some spawners and such. You've got inspirations for mulch, as well as bookshelves. You've got certain paths, you've got additional flowers, you've got bushes, you've got carpeted trapdoors, glass doors and more, coloured books, beacon compasses, and a few other different things. You've got iron chests for additional storage, of course, using iron all the way up to obsidian or crystal or diamond. You've got mechanism for additional tools, upgrades, and obviously some of the new armor and certain units. You've got your resources, your factories, your bins, your multi-block, certain components, your energy storage, your pipes, your gas storage, your fluids, your balloons, your tiny baby mobs, your plastic blocks and more. And then obviously there's generators and tools and other such stuff. Otherwise, you've got mine colonies for, I think, pretty much improving villages or adding in additional structures, as well as obviously certain other things, I assume, for professions for them, or just trading, or certain things they specialize in. I've never used the mod, so I don't know. There's obviously additional mobs as well for different villages, I assume, or structures. You've got mining gadgets for obviously using a gadget, modification table, and then upgrades to then apply to the gadget through the table. You've got mystical agriculture for additional certain armor and tools, as well as obviously getting essences from mobs and crops and certain other things. There's a few watering can tiers and more. You've got packing tape for obviously packaging up something and then moving it elsewhere. You've got nature's compass for finding biomes. You've got Pneumaticraft for adding in drones as well as some armor. You've got upgrades, you've got fluids, you've got a bunch of blocks for pretty much creating compressed air and so on. You've got plastic construction blocks and more. We've got pocket storage for additional certain storage methods. I think it's for storing certain stacks, maybe similar to a barrel in a way, except pocket. For on the go. You've got portality for obviously portals and certain things like fluids and items, I think, besides just players. You've got power for transporting energy. You've got generators. You've got energy hopper. You've got certain other bits and pieces for power storage and other things and other components. Quark for adding additional blocks and ores, so different world gen, different decoration, different plants, ladders, chests, carpet of leaf kind, crystals, different coloured item frames, candles, potions and more. You've got rats for different blocks and items and mobs and tools and such. Different upgrades for certain things, along with certain obviously different types of rats. Different cheese blocks and more. Got refined storage for storage with a disk drive, fluid and item storage, cables, monitors and more, and obviously the different grids versus using the add-on mod is available. sign button for having a redstone signal with a sign, I'm pretty sure. Simply backpacks for adding an additional storage. Simply jetpacks for a jetpack mod that also has not only just the ability to be used as a jetpack and also be powered, but also have armor on it. Seems suitable. I could have gone with iron packbacks, but it just seemed like the one to go with. You've got simply lights for additional light sources, storage drawers for barrels of a 1 or 2 or 2 by 1 by 2, 1 or 2 by 2, and then a drawer controller for different stacks. You've got different shingles for roofing, as well as obviously cactus blocks and certain other frames and such with structurize, along with different carpets and more. One probe for obviously telling you what something is from. You've got the mini map as well as world map of zeros. You've got the Undergarden for additional tools and blocks and mobs, and I think is a different dimension or different biomes. You've got Bounce Pad from Tinkers to add more Tinkers possibilities. And then obviously you've got Mechworks with its fire starters as well as Drawbridge. You've got tool belts for pretty much having additional access to tools. And you've got Tubes Reloaded as another sort of item transport sort of mod, along with filters and other things, if you don't want to use mechanisms or want something early game, I guess. And then you've got Waystones for finding stuff in the world, as well as teleporting, I guess. And obviously there's other stuff as well, so better advancements, better burning, and additional other stuff as well for performance or just other tweaks. So yeah, a mix of pretty much existing from the pack, additional other stuff that seems suitable, like applied energistics, simply jetpacks and more. Certain other tweaks like the mod options button and such. And then obviously there's a few I couldn't add in, but yeah. But for the most part, obviously do check the actual mod list for things that aren't available in the pack, or just get both and then sort of compare between. So yeah, or you can just get the mods from this version, which obviously is meant to be installed for MultiMC, or you can just obviously download it, get the mods that are from that version, carry them across to your existing Twitch instance or so, and you'll be good to go. But yeah, some I couldn't get in this version, so I had to put in the other. So just be aware that not all mods that are listed here obviously are going to be in here. So get this one, and then just sort of put them in the instance or the Twitch profile you've got, or just download this one, add the additional, you'll be good to go. Or just use MultiMC, I guess, over Twitch. That's also something as well to make it easier to install it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.